Let's see. And questions are always good. Doing any job shows you're curious and want to grow. Exactly. It's hard to get over, though. I will say that. Even me, I've been working at different jobs for a long time, working at Animation Mentor for a long time. And sometimes I still have that, like, oh, do I really want to ask that question? Will it make it feel like I wasn't paying attention, or like you always second guess yourself? Will people think that um, I I was lazy or something like that? It's hard to get over. Um, See, honestly, asking questions feels so scary, even though it's so helpful. Yes, yes, it is. It's so unfortunate that we're all taught growing up that questions are bad. It is a weird thing where typical school environments, it teaches you all the things you're supposed to learn in life and how to like survive in the world. And yet it also teaches you everything backwards in the sense of you're not supposed to ask questions. Most teachers don't like having questions asked, at least that I've heard of. They want students to learn, pay attention, and then go. But questions is how you grow. Questions is how you improve yourself. And Sarah, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Man, 24 months or almost 24 months. Geez, 2 years. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Questions are how you grow. Questions are how there's a conversation that begins. And not only does it help the students grow, it helps the teachers grow. When I have students asking me questions, it forces me to either say the answer, which means I have to be sure of what I'm talking about, or if I don't know, I need to find the answer for them, which makes me grow even more. It also forces me to question my own answers. If I'm telling a student something, if I want to keep being better and being better for the students, I need to question if what I'm saying is actually correct or if I need to rethink this information. I can't just say it because someone else told me and I'll just keep going and saying it and then they'll keep saying it and we'll just spread this misinformation forever and all time. No. Questions should propagate more questions and answers and discussion and a conversation. That is a huge part of life. And as well as communication. Communication is huge. If you bottle everything up and don't say anything, that's how you get misunderstandings. That's how you get issues where like you see it all in the industry right now where no one said anything for so long because no one could say anything, and studios, and this is not just animation, like just globally as in job markets and stuff, big companies always say don't talk about how much you get paid, don't talk about anything that goes bad in the studio, that'll make you a bad employee, don't talk about this. What does that do? It gives them power to do what they want so that the employees don't know what the other person's getting paid, which means that they don't know if they're getting paid a fair wage or not. They don't know if something happens at the workplace, should I say anything? No, I shouldn't, because that'll make me the bad employee and everyone's going to look down on me. And as a society, we're programmed to think this way where if I speak out or if they speak out, oh, shush, 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 you shouldn't say that. No, we're supposed to be good workers. We're helping them. We're helping the big companies. It's not to say that we should walk around and just do whatever we want. But if something bad happens to us, we are helping them. They need to be respectful of us as well. And yeah, the Animators Guild is fighting right now for better wages and work conditions. Exactly. Like that's awesome. I'm so excited for that. I hope it goes through and goes well for them. Like the Writers Guild, you've got the animation unions, all of this stuff. So many people are like, don't go to unions. It's bad for you. They're just trying to trick you. Unions, and I'm not saying all of them are good. There are some bad unions. In general, unions are there to help everyone have a way to talk back to the studio in a fair environment. And their goal is to make not just the employees take control, to make everyone fair. Make sure the studio is giving the employees what they deserve. Make sure the employees are held accountable when they do something and that they follow what the studio needs. It makes an even playing field. Do not feel like you have to stay quiet. And again, that's something that's taught in schools and when we're young. Don't speak out. Don't ask questions. Don't question the way things are set up. It's just the way it is. No. Question. If something doesn't make sense, ask questions. It doesn't mean that you have to be abusive about it or like a jerk about it, but be curious about it. Always be curious. The other thing that schools tend to teach us that is incorrect is that failure is wrong. Failure is bad. If you fail, if you get a low grade, like slap on the wrist, do your homework, don't play video games, like you get a punishment. Go to your room kind of thing. You go and get detention. Like there's all of these punishments for failure. And sometimes, yeah, failure is because someone wasn't paying attention, they don't care, and they weren't putting the work into it because of irresponsibility. Yeah, okay, that's some of it. Failure is also, you could have tried your hardest, you could have studied the most, you could have worked and worked, but something didn't click. Something just didn't make sense to you. Something just happened where you failed. And that's okay. You can try your hardest and still fail. And that is not a bad thing. Failure and making mistakes is learning. You learn by your mistakes. When I started as a baker, a lot of the breads that I made turned out horribly. They were awful. I remember one night where we almost ruined Cameron and I almost ruined the entire day's worth of bread because we let them overproof. So for anyone who doesn't know, proofing is letting the dough rise before you bake it so that it kind of gets airy and builds a nice fluffy bread. And we let it go on too long. So when we came in to check on the bread was like just these monstrous lumps and just overflowing out of the pans, and it was awful. And it was like, I forget how many breads, like 30 or 40 breads. And we learned very quickly, oh, we shouldn't overproof things. Yeah, we didn't do it again. But did it mean that we were failures and we're never going to be bakers again? No. It sucked. Like we felt really bad about it. But we didn't do it again. We made sure to learn from that mistake. And sometimes mistakes, they are hard to learn from. Let's say, kind of going back to a school environment, you take a test and you fail. And okay, let's start studying again. Maybe the thing that you need to learn is not what's on the test. So let's say you're doing a math test and you failed it. If I go back in and try to do the same thing, I'm going to just study the same way I did before and then try to do it again. I haven't changed any of the variables. I'm just forcing myself to do more of what I've already done, which didn't work. At that point, I haven't taken the failure and learned from it. I'm spinning in a circle of trying. Instead, what I should be doing, and something as animators we should always be doing, is if I failed on something, figure out why. Maybe it's not the material itself that is hitting me, it's the way it's explained to me. Maybe it's the way that the information is presented to me that is not clicking. So, especially in today's age of the internet, look for other explanations, especially like math kind of stuff. You can find all sorts of ways of doing, for example, the square root of something. There's all sorts of little tricks and tips and ways of thinking about it. Study it and find out ways that make sense to you. Don't just take the one source that tells you have to do it this way and that's it. Same with animation. You have to do pose to pose animation, that's it. No layered, no nothing. You never do anything else. No. If pose to pose doesn't make sense to you, try layered. If that doesn't work, try straight ahead. If that doesn't work, try combination. If that doesn't work, try a different workflow. Find a thing that works for you, that makes sense for you. And as animators, we should be embracing failure. It still sucks, but we should be embracing it and learning from it, pushing ourselves to be more than just this repetition machine, this treadmill of trying the same thing and hoping it's going to work out this time. Yeah, a big tangent there. I got a little heated on that topic, but especially with my students, even if they fail a class, I never consider the student a failure. It's just learning. And I can see most students, who are actually trying. I have had some students who are just there because their parents paid for it and they're just like, whatever, I don't care. Those cases, if you don't have a passion for it, if you're not going to try, it's not going to make a difference. But the ones who do try, even after they failed and they try to figure out how they can learn more, they will get it. They will. And they're just going to get better and better as they go. So, yeah. Long talk.